relatable conversations on living your best life. Welcome to the Konse podcast. Another day, another episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Konse podcast, your step-by-step guide on how to live your best life. Now, I have to be honest. I've done so many episodes that probably you people on YouTube haven't seen because a lot of them are on audio. But I'm most excited for this one because we've been trying to make this happen for the longest. Like, we really have. And it's so surreal. I'm not to say the previous ones weren't surreal, but this one is just extra special for me. My guest today is a very interesting woman. She is an influencer. She is by far one of the most confident people that I know. And when I say confidence, let me tell you, like, you know that just those type of people who were like, when you enter the room, you know that, okay, she has reached. Like, they're just those people who you're like, you know what, she's here. And even when you leave, you feel that okay, someone has left. And that's the type of person that she is. She knows when to be outspoken, she knows when to be humble. She has a perfect balance of both, and I think that's one of the things that make her really, really amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Chembe! Chembe, what's good? How you doing?
First of all, I've never had such an intro my whole life. Like, never.
You're
never.
welcome.
That's insane. Let me clap for you.
Thank you.
Did the damn
Thank
thing.
you.
I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
We're finally doing this. Finally.
After so long,
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Give it to me.
Now, I have to tell you, I just have to tell you this story. So the year is I think that was 2021. Well, 2020 was when I first got to hear about you.
Yeah.
But 2021 was when I got to meet you. The photo shoot that we did.
Yes, I remember.
So the first time I got to see you was on Lombe's video.
Okay.
There was a video that she did where she had like her friends over and you were one of them. And the first thing that popped into my head was, this girl has an amazing voice.
Oh, thank you.
When you sang in that video, I was like, huh? This is God speaking.
Thank you.
If there was any way of knowing how God could speak, it would probably be, this is what it would sound like.
You were?
Too
much. This guy has breathed. Girls.
But no, for real though, like, that was the first thing that I noticed. And the next time I got to hear about you was when you were posting Instagram reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
By then, I don't think you were posting that much on TikTok.
Yeah.
And you were very funny. Like, I enjoyed your TikToks. They made me laugh, and I was like, this girl is actually fun. And that was the first time I ever started following you. And then not too long ago, Namwemba is the one who called me like, look, do you want to do a photo shoot with Chembe? And I was like, yes, please.
Make it happen.
Yes. And then we met, and I remember standing that entire shoot. I was like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. And
you
it was
were so
just
polite
so
that day,
amazing.
by the way. I remember that's one of the first things. I was like, this guy is polite. Like, these are proper English manners. Like, did you grow up here? Oh my gosh, I remember.
My parents raised me well.
Yeah, no, they did. Fantastic.
But no, that was really, really a surreal moment for me. And I have to say, and I have to give you your flowers for this, because what I experienced with you in person and what I saw on social media were two different things. And that's not to say that it was a bad thing. No.
Yeah.
Actually, very far from it.
Yeah.
The reason why I said earlier that you've figured out a way to know when to be humble and when to be outspoken is because when I saw you on social media, you were so eccentric, so outspoken, confidently speaking about anything and everything. When I saw you in person, you were more reserved, and I was like, this is interesting, but I like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was a perfect balance of both. And it's very, very... I gotta give you flowers for that. It's really, really amazing, because not only people can do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I like that you pointed that out, because some people really think I'm lying when I say, like, guys, I don't talk much. When I talk, I talk. But then, like in real life, I think it's knowing that there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like not caging yourself to maintain a brand that you set out on social media. I feel like certain people who maybe if they present themselves to the world as this very chic, always in branded clothing, or lifestyle influencer, I feel like they feel maybe shy to come back to who they really are when the cameras are off.
That is true.
I can't do that. I can never, because at the end of the day, you are who you are. If
That is
you
true.
wear Gucci on the internet, if this is not the internet, this is the market. Just go the way you go. So I feel like it's not something I even had to plan, like, okay, in real life I'll be quiet, no, it came naturally because it is what it is. That's social media, this is real life.
That's very, very interesting. I like that you put it that way.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I want to really talk about with you, and I want it to be the center of our conversation today.
Yeah.
It's about confidence, and more so because we had a discussion about this some time back, and I know earlier you said that you forgot about it, how you once mentioned that you weren't always as confident as you are. And it's interesting to me because when I first met you, I was like, was this child born this confident? Because like you have this thing where when people are around you, and I think this is a thing with a lot of people who are confident, because in my own opinion, confidence is really attractive. I find confidence attractive. It makes me want to be confident. And I think that's what a lot of people who are confident exude. It's like when that person is in the room, everyone else feels more confident. It's like you lift up everyone in the room. So it was very interesting to me when you said that you weren't always this confident. So now I'm very curious. What was that like before you became confident? What type of person were you?
Even before I became really confident in myself, I've always been pretty good at selling confidence.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the fake it till you make it thing. Oh yeah, it worked for me. It worked.
Really?
Yeah, kind of. I've always been pretty good at selling confidence even before I was actually confident. The only thing was confidence is pretty much just being sure.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So the only thing that was there before it was very visible to other people is just probably I would beat myself up a lot behind closed doors about the way I looked, about, oh no, you shouldn't have said that, you shouldn't have done that. But then the only thing that switched and changed when I truly became confident is I just became sure. Like I just became sure. Like even if I'm wrong about something, I'd be wrong unapologetically. Because before I was very apologetic about everything, even the things I was right about. You understand what I mean? Because I wasn't confident, I wasn't sure. But then when you become sure, even when you are wrong, listen, I was wrong correctly.
I was correctly wrong.
I was correctly wrong.
That's a very interesting. That's a very interesting way to put it. So when you mean unapologetically wrong, what does that look like? Like, does that mean, okay, I know that I was wrong, but it is what it is? Or was it like where you're open enough to say, okay, look, I know I was wrong here, we move?
Yes, it's being secure enough in yourself to just be wrong.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Because a lot of people think that's where the issue with even apologizing comes in. That's why some people fail to apologize. It's because people see being wrong as a sign of weakness when really it's not. You understand? Being able to acknowledge when you are wrong is so not really that it is what it is. I was wrong. You must just accept it. That's how I am. No, that's not what I mean. I just mean being able to be loud about it, because people will only taunt you and make fun of you over things that they've seen can hurt you.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so if you acknowledge that I'm wrong and you can't hurt me using that,
it takes away their power to hurt you.
Exactly. You take that power away. You'll be like, yes, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. And yeah, that intimidates people. They hate that.
It does.
They hate that.
And that's one of the things that I love about being confident. It's that you're confident enough to know your own flaws.
Exactly.
And when you know your own flaws, no one can hurt you because you're like, look, there's nothing that you've told me that I already don't know.
Exactly.
You know, and that's really, really interesting. So at what point did you said that you were always good at selling confidence.
Yeah.
Was this even like as far back as high school or?
Oh, way before.
Way before?
Way before.
Tell us about that.
Tell you about what?
Like, I'm very interested in knowing what high school or primary school Chembe was like.
They were all very stiff-minded characters.
Yeah.
But all very loud and jovial and funny.
Okay. Still are funny though.
Thank you. I feel like I'm growing out of it. I'm losing my touch.
I feel
like I'm losing my touch.
We need that.
But yeah, But I feel like the only thing that I remember very prominently was I felt very caged by the opinions of other people.
I see.
By the opinions of other people, and that's the only thing that I actually even tell. I remember like I have my boss News. So I remember telling him that I have thin skin.
Okay.
I know I look like I have thick skin.
I feel like there's no way to shake you down.
You do.
I really feel so.
When you've been selling something for a very long time, you really learn the marketplace and you learn how to sell it. But then like I have a bit of thin skin, and I'll say that proudly because I've acknowledged it. Words have always had an impact on me from when I was very, very young. So people would say certain things about me and they caged me, especially when I was in primary school. So you would find me doing very well at something and someone would say something and instantly I'd start to withdraw. For you who's kind of like observed me growing on social media, I never really planned on being an influencer. I never planned on having numbers, never planned any of that. It kind of happened almost by accident. So those who know me from around that time, when I just started posting reels on Instagram, if you remember, when it goes viral or gets too many numbers, I delete it. I would remove it. I would remove it because I'd be like, that's way too much attention. And immediately I get 1 or 2 negative comments. Instead of deleting the comments, I'd remove the whole video because my skin was just that thin. Like I could not take one person not liking me or not thinking I'm enough. But then they are allowed to.
True.
They are allowed to. So I think primary Chembe, high school Chembe was really just selling it. But I think I held myself back a lot from a lot of things. I remember I only truly discovered I could sing when I won an award for it. Yeah, and I was like, this is a big deal for real. I went to the 8th grade, I went to boarding school, and all the Sugos would surround me and make me sing different songs. And I'm like, anyway, so I'm good at this, like for real. Like this is an actual talent. Good. As opposed to people who've known since they were babies. So I went home, I said, Mommy, do you know that at school I'm a star? And she said, you've been singing into my corners ever since you were 2 years old. How didn't you know that? And I'm like, well,
nobody told me.
You people are just thinking like it's a normal thing. Like we live with Celine Dion, that's okay. You know what I mean? So the outlook of it isn't very different. People who say they've known me from the time I was older, Chembe has always been confident. She's always been like that. But for me, in my heart of hearts, I know.
That's very, very interesting. And you brought some really interesting points that I'm going to nitpick a little bit.
Yeah.
The first one was how you said that you got a really thin skin. So now I'm curious to know, were you ever bullied in high school?
Okay, not high school.
Primary school?
No, definitely not high school. Not high school. Primary school, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit in junior secondary because I was at 2 different schools from 8 to 9, then 10 to 12. Yeah. So a little bit at the 8 to 9 and then primary. I was.
Really?
I
was bullied too as
You
well.
were?
Oh Lord, I feel like, and I've said this a lot, I feel like I was the most bullied kid in high school and primary school.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why would they do that? You're such a nice guy.
I was an interesting person. Well,
were you deserving of the bullies?
I wouldn't say
nobody
that.
Is deserving of bullies, but they are just those kids that are silly.
I think I was, those kids that are like annoying and they're a problem, but they're not a problem enough to be like punished severely.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna lie, I was like the clown of the classroom, right? But I was also never into like too much trouble. I was just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that I would be punished for would be very silly things.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the time, because of the outspoken nature that I have, people often bullied me for that. I used to talk to myself a lot publicly in primary school.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
I always made fun of that a lot. It was actually wild. But yeah.
That means you have high IQ. Anytime I find someone talking to themselves, I'm like, let's go, Einstein. Do it. Yeah.
Like, bro, I'd be having so many in-depth conversations with myself. It's actually crazy.
You know, because you need expert advice. And that's why you're talking to yourself.
And I wish I knew that at the time. Anyway, but this is not about me. We're still focused on you and your story about bullying.
Yeah. So I feel like people will always bully other people over things that they can see going somewhere.
Yeah.
If they can see you going somewhere, or they can see you being someone in a couple of years, there's definitely going to be a lot of negative comments and buzz around you.
True.
So learning how to shut that out is an actual skill. It's not easy.
It is.
It's
it
not
really,
easy
really is, and I
at
totally
all.
agree with you.
Because would you believe me that the same voice that you people are saying, this is so beautiful, would you believe me if I told you I was bullied over my voice? Hugely bullied over my voice. It's only now that I'm grown that I'll walk into a place and speak, and then people be like, "Ooh, girl, your voice is so rich." You understand? Like now it's called rich. When you are 10, 12, younger,
No, she has a
with a big voice, it's like, hey, madam. Like, you understand what I mean?
You know, I get it.
I remember once sitting in class, I will never forget this day, and our teacher was teaching us. It's at primary. It's not biology, is it? It's science. It's science. Integrated science.
Integrated science.
So our teacher was telling us, you know, it's not only boys' voices that break as you grow, older. Like even girls' voices, of course, like you can tell when she's a baby, she's so, but when she grows older and becomes a woman, her voice will be different. Have you heard your mother's voices? He was having an innocent lesson. And it's always the boys that pass number 12, 13. The ones that pass number 20, they are quiet. The ones that pass number 1 and 2 are quiet. Middle boys, 12, 13. If I catch you. I'm joking. But like, I remember but he's a very good friend of mine now. Got up and said, sir, now with voices break, what's going to happen to Chembes by the time the class was in shambles? And they were like, no, real. That's a real question. If voices get deeper, Chembes is already like a man. Do you know being mute for 1 week? Do you know not speaking?
Bruh, I would never speak at all.
Yeah. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. We would be because we live in a very colorist country. Let's just accept that. That's how it is. Especially colorism is a real thing, and it's so real. We just have to get to a point where we accept that it's real and just do what we can around it. So we can't, because we can try and change it and change the narrative, and it will change on social media, but on the ground it's real. And it's so real. And I empathize so heavily with kids who are being bullied over their color in a country where they are allowed to be that color. I'm not saying like around the world people are not allowed to be black, but I mean like this is Africa. What do you expect me to be? It doesn't get any blacker than this. You understand? So like this is home for me. There's nothing like I'm just going to go back to Europe and be accepted there.
It doesn't work that way.
The colorism was so real and so bad and so heavy. It was I was at a point where I felt like, listen, I'm never going to get married. Like I'm never going to get married. Let me just bleach this skin and become something. It was really bad. That was like one of the biggest aspects in which I was bullied. Also, our features, we don't have Eurocentric, tiny nose, tiny eyes, what. So it was a lot. But yeah, that was the experience. Even maybe when we crossed over to secondary, was kind of here and there, but at that point I was getting a bit tough. Yeah, at that point I was
I'm not taking that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And then we crossed over to high school, and I was like,
you're not going to do this to me.
Like we're over this now.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's bullying to me is a very odd concept in that I feel both the bully and the bullied are victims.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the main reasons people become bullies is for a lack of love and where they're coming from. So that is now brought out in the form of bullying. and those people who are bullied also end up being victims of that as well.
That's true.
So it's a really odd concept, and it's something I wish never existed, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Now that we've talked about that, I'm assuming as the result of the bullying, it brought about some level of insecurity in you. So what was it that you were most insecure about, and how did you get over it?
That is so easy to answer, and I can answer it into the camera. Where is the camera? Can I look at it? My nose.
Wow, for real?
Clap your hands right now. My nose. And do you know what I did, Lushomo? When I got to university, I pierced it. I pierced it. I said, you have bullied me over this nose since I was beginning. Yeah. I said, I'm going to pierce it. Wow. I said this because it was my biggest insecurity. And people at the time made so much fun of it. Like they made so much fun of it. And I was like, you guys, you're not going to pick on me over and over and over again. I'm like, let's go, little Miss Ugly. I even put a shiny crystal on it. And I said, therefore, everywhere I go, I know the first thing you're looking at is my nose. And that's okay.
And you're going to notice it whether you like it or not.
That's fine with me. Whether you like it, you don't like it, my nose, ever you see it. And that's, for me, that's how I go to it. The piercing healed me. I'm not saying go and pierce your nose. And mothers and fathers, I'm not involved. If your child pierces a nose, but for me, that's what I did. It was my nose.
I'm glad. That must have been liberating.
What? Yeah, it was. It was. I actually got over it long before I even pierced it. Yeah. Because, let's just be honest, features catch up.
They do.
They do catch up. Because at the time I was younger, my face was smaller, my nose was outstanding. And other things, as you grow older, all these things, I don't know. People just don't give each other. That's why people call it a glow up, because they think you've started busting. No, but your body has also just
started changing.
It has caught up. It has balanced. It has balanced. It was trying to discover where to sit once. And you know what I mean? So yeah.
That's why I feel like some of these things we get bullied for. I have nieces, and you know it's funny. This is how I know I've become old, because I have nieces and nephews that are coming. You know when I became do you know when I realized I've become old was when my niece texted me on WhatsApp saying, "Do you want to buy for me airtime?"
I was like, "Oh, you need airtime now."
Like, no, I'll see what I can do.
Don't be uncle. See what I can do now.
No, I deliver.
You deliver.
I deliver.
I trust you. I trust you.
So, a lot of my nieces and nephews, I'm actually surprised that they're this old. This is also how I know I've become old, because some of them are finishing high school. Some of them are finishing grade 9.
It's time to take Tumbali. That is the time. Yeah.
So, I've become that type of person who, like, the big brother that you can go to about certain things. Not everything, but obviously certain things, right?
Yeah.
And bullying is one of them. And I'm one of those. And by the way, if you have a younger sibling, I feel like this is one of the things that you should do that should be an obligation to you, as a moral obligation for you as a sibling, is that be open enough to have such conversations with your younger siblings. To be like, look, I've been bullied before, and this is what I was bullied for. When you're open to have such conversations with people who are younger than you, it makes them feel better to open up with you about what they're going through.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, look, I was bullied for A, B, C, and D. And I've also been bullied for my body, my skin. I was very tiny. I wasn't this chubby person that you see. I was very tiny.
Really?
I was tiny. And I was like, look, she was being bullied for her body. And I was like, you're still very young.
Exactly.
Your body is going to grow into what it needs to be. And believe you me, the same to my boys that are bullying you over their body, the same ones that will be crawling in your DMs 5 years from now.
Exactly. And the girls who are so much bigger than you are going to be wishing they look like you when we are in our 30s, 40s. They're going to be like, oh my God, she's got such a... How did she manage to maintain her figure? You were laughing at that figure when she was a kid.
Facts. And that just goes to show you that everything has their own struggles.
That's true, yeah.
Like, God doesn't give everything.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, again, which comes back to you and your life as a social media influencer. You talked about how earlier you didn't intend to be a social media influencer.
No.
So at what point did you know that this is actually becoming a thing? And how long did it take for you to accept that this is the reality of my life now? I might as well make the most of it.
I like how your questions are phrased because they are phrased so accurately for my answer. You have laid it out for me.
You can thank Lushomo for that.
What, girl? You be my script writer, professional writer. Wow. Okay. Your first one was how long did it take for me to accept?
Yeah.
It was when?
When did you know that, okay, this is my life now, and how long did it take for you to accept that? Because you mentioned earlier how like there were times when you would upload a video, go viral, and then you delete. So obviously it took a while for you to settle into that. This is your new reality.
It did. I feel like, and I really hope I don't ruffle any feathers with what I'm about to say, but I feel like when it comes to social media is supposed to be a tool, right? And it is a tool. So I feel like people who, for lack of better terms, become popular or get famous for their personality, as in who they are in real life, are going to get recognition whether they want it or not.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Preach, sister.
Let me shed some light. Sometimes there's personalities that follow numbers and there's personalities that numbers follow.
Ooh, those are bars.
And there's people out there who are personalities that numbers can follow but just don't want to, pick up their camera and put their personality out there, which I highly respect. I actually recommend keeping your personality in the real life. I understand that it can be marketable and you can make your money, but oh God. Anyway.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. So like at the time, what I was doing was really just what everybody else was doing. Everybody was taking pictures. Everybody was posting what they think. Everyone was posting TikToks. Mine just happened to be gathering traffic. It's not because of the hashtags I used. It's not because of the way I said what I said. It's just who I was on the internet. That's who I am even in real life. I've lived with people who are like, so you're not just Mungulu on the internet. This is how you are. Like even in real life, like this is the real you. You understand? So for me, it took me by surprise also because Instagram wasn't a thing at the time. The thing was Facebook. And maybe TikTok. And deliberately, I used to post on Instagram. I'm like,
because you know there wasn't that much
because
attention.
I knew there was no traffic there, and there was so there was no one who could bully me about my nose or about my skin color and what. And when I did post, for sure, people were just like, "Oh, so funny! Oh, this girl can sing. Oh, this one." When I see pages start reposting, I'd remove it. So the point at which I realized, you'd find there was a video. It actually, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't a video of me saying something funny. It was a video of me singing. It was a video of me singing. What song was I singing?
Wait, was this the one where you were in the studio?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like a very, very long time ago. It was a tiny little cover that I recorded just a few little lines on my bed, and I posted it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I slept. Like I didn't even take it seriously. I just posted it on my Instagram and slept. And I woke up and I had like 2,500 new followers. Hey, what? I didn't even take time to read what was in the comments. I removed the video.
Wow.
I said, what is this? What is this? And then so some of my friends and relatives came to me and were like, why did you remove the video? And I was like, yeah, it was getting too much attention. And they were like, wasn't that the point? And I said, no. The point was simply expression. And so all that traction that was getting, I'm not ready for people to hate. And a friend of mine asked me, how are you so sure someone is going to hate? And I said, I know people. People are always going to have, then why are you so ready? Why are you so, or you're already receiving the hate, you're already responding to the hate. You removing that video is giving people power over you, and that's not how I know you. Those words are when I said, okay.
You are right.
You are right. You are right. I realized that social media is supposed to be a tool for me. Me posting and removing according to what social media says is me becoming a tool for social media.
When it's supposed to be the other way around.
So that's at that point for that video, that's when I started saying, okay, I'm going to be putting my things up. If somebody wants to hate on it, I'll just simply delete the comment or whatever the case will be. It was still very hard for me. I stopped posting actually because I thought anytime I say something, like everybody else could be saying, men are stupid, men are stupid, men are stupid. When Chembe says men,
it's gospel.
It has gone. You understand what I mean? So like I used to kind of like regulate the way I'd post until people started making it seem like something you could make money off of. Money is a different thing now. It's like,
we love
you
money.
know, we have money.
Let's not even be shy about it. Money is nice.
Money is nice. It's so good. But yeah, you know, you can make money out of this. You know, you can use it for at the time I was still very hesitant. It took a lot, honestly. It took me almost 2 years for me to finally accept. Really? I even used to refuse when people call me and, are you the one from TikTok? I said, no. Are you sure? I said, there's a girl who looks just like me. I feel like even today, if I meet some people, sometimes when they ask me, sometimes I do that. They're like, are you the one? I said, no, absolutely not. Because I feel like being a social media influencer on its own has qualified to be some sort of like status in the real world.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a status online, that's okay because that's a virtual world.
Yeah.
But then because now it carries all these money, brand works, monetized things, deals and sponsorships, like people automatically think if you are a social media influencer, you are making money. If you're a social media influencer, you have more money than us, the average person. You are more qualified or you are more of a person. You're not really, because if the difference between someone else and I is going to be the case on Instagram, right? Yeah. When we are sitting in the classroom, there are no Ks.
Exactly.
There are no Ks. They just a question paper, invigilator, your pen, and your God. Like, do you understand what I mean? Yeah. So I'm hesitant, even till today, to carry that title with my full chest. Yeah. But then again, I felt like it's a bit of an insult to the people that say it in a good way, to the people that believe in me. When they call me, oh, Chembe is my favorite influencer, and I go to them and say, don't call me that, I'm not an influencer. It's a bit of it's a pushback. It's not nice. You understand what I mean? So that's when I got to the point when I saw that people who believe in me and love me actually think I can do something out of it. That's when I was like, okay, took a lot of lombeing and a lot of Emma Kamawing and a lot of Sierra. Get serious. I was like, okay,
let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go. And then also some of the brands that came, can you advertise this for me? Can you advertise this for me? I was like, oh, okay.
So actually, how was that like? Like your first major brand deal? Like, what was that like?
What was my first, what I would consider major? Yeah. What I would consider
was it the Phantom?
No, I think for me it was a big deal. For other people, it may not be because they've dealt with bigger. You know, they're now going to touch Samsung and stuff. But for me, it was for came. I was one of the first people they approached. Yeah. I remember they didn't go to my other influencer friends, and they came to me. I was like, hey, small me. Oh, thank you. I think it was great. But like, it didn't go so well. It didn't go so well.
But it was a learning curve.
It was a learning curve, and it was an eye opener. And other people, I was definitely exploring. But he's very passionate about influencers not getting underpaid, and I love that. Even Mix is very passionate.
Mix is very open about that.
Very passionate about influencers getting their flowers, and I love that so much. So I remember those people would tell me, others are getting paid this. You shouldn't be getting paid. Don't accept this. Don't do this. Don't do. But then the self-doubt will kick in, and be like, but I'm not them. You understand? Like,
I know that feeling.
So you feel like you are worth what you've been offered.
Yeah.
You understand? Like,
and it kind of puts you in the boxes. Then I feel like it then kind of blurs the line between what you think you deserve and what you're actually getting.
Yes.
Because in your mind you're like, okay, I mean, this company is so huge. Yes. They came to me and gave me this much.
Yes.
The least I could do is accept.
Exactly. Like, I should be grateful. Like, they are even approaching me. Yeah, I had that mindset. But then when you learn that you are, like, if they had other people in mind, they'd have gone to other people.
They would have.
They came to you because they want something about you, or they want to work with you. So when I realized that, it kind of like changed the way I used to look at things. It was okay. It was great. It was a good experience.
Now, like I've said already, you're a very outspoken person, and you've managed to do what a lot of people fail to do a lot of the times, is that manage to know when to be outspoken, when not to be. You know when to take a back seat, and you know when to say, I have something to say and you're going to listen, right? So how do you manage to strike that balance?
The Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I'm not even trying to preach to nobody. But then like I feel like when you do things in your own capacity as a human being, you are bound to make mistakes and the wrong moves. And that's very fine. That's God's way of reminding us that we are human. You understand what I mean? But then like when you involve the Holy Spirit, he gives you discernment and utterance, and he's a guide. Honestly, it's something that I used to pray over a lot. Like, God, give me guidance with this whole social media thing. I don't want to take it by storm. I do believe if I had acknowledged, this is the thing, and just run with it, I'd be. I really feel like I'd be so big and so huge. But then I'm so grateful that I involved the Holy Spirit. Because when you pray and ask the Holy Spirit to guide you in everything that you do, it kind of like, you look stupid for turning down some of the deals that you turn down. You look a bit mad for not saying something when people think you should be speaking up. But then the whole time God is protecting you from something that you can't see. And so it's very, very important to involve God. I know we like to involve God in stuff that we think are serious. Like, okay, God, be involved in my academics, my finances, my relationship. But the social media thing, I've got it on lock. It's a small thing. It's really not. So just for me, the answer is just the Holy Spirit. Also, I have very good guidance from my mom. Her being my friend is it's a blessing, because I know of people who are my age and don't really have that relationship with their mom where they can like just open up and say things openly. But like my mom and I are not like that. My mom would tell me, and not even in like a criticism where you just say,
your mom and my mom are the same.
Exactly. So you understand, having a relationship like that with her, you go and you ask her, Mom, now this brand that is approaching me, she says, Chembe, that doesn't align with who you are at all. And if you post for them, you will know that it will show that it's just for money. So if you start speaking on this issue, that has nothing to do with you.
And that's the funny thing, because your audience can tell when you're not being authentic.
100%. That has happened to me so many times. They can really tell when
they really can.
You don't even have to put that thing at paid ad. They know.
They know.
100%. They know. They can really tell it's a paid ad. So I feel like the Holy Spirit is the simplest answer for me on that one.
That's amazing.
It really is. And just being quiet is just good.
It's important.
It's very important.
You know,
everyone is talking about it. Me, I must say something.
Facts. I love that we're two members on this podcast.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
Wait, you're from Northern Province or Luapula?
Northern. Oh, now it's Muchinga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Muchinga.
I'm from Northern Province. My dad's village is in Luingo. Mom's is in Mansa.
Oh, so you are full. Wait, Mansa is that side?
Mansa in Luapula Province.
Oh, Mansa is Luapula. Yeah. So I thought. Oh, okay. My mom's Luapula.
Okay.
From mommy, where are you from? My mom is from Luapula.
Luapula is fine.
Luapula is okay. Samfia!
Icho!
Got it. I remember Samfia, and then my dad is from Muchinga Chinsali.
Nice. That is so dope. I'm glad, because I feel like you're one of the Bembas who I feel is so proud of being Bemba, and I love it. Like, you never hesitate to make it know that you're a Bemba.
Oh, I am.
And I love that. I really love that.
Yeah.
Now, a bit off topic, because this is something that I've noticed about you, and I really want to ask this. If there's one thing that I will always be grateful for, something that 100% is always going to be my go-to, is my family. They've been there for me from day one, and they're always my go-to when I'm going through anything.
Yeah.
I've seen how much you're passionate about your family, how you have a relationship with your siblings and everything. How important is family to you?
Sometimes I think it's a bit too important.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like,
really?
It's so important to me. It's like one of the first things people notice about me. It's like, we love how much you love your family. And I think it's just understanding that the people that pick up the pieces behind closed doors are the people that live with you.
Nice.
You understand? That's why when other people say things, it may not hurt me as much. If it comes from someone in my family,
it hurts.
It will bite me in the chest. You understand what I mean? Because for me, I don't know, they are not people outside of me. They are small little bits and pieces of me. Each one of them carries a piece of my heart with them wherever they go. And I'm not afraid to be like loud about it and show it and tell them and love on them. So it's very important. I feel like I remember actually in one of the services at church, Reverend mentioned, he said, if there's relationships you must always be prepared to repair, its relationships with your family members. Don't let them drag out, don't let them go all the way up to a point where your kids are not even allowed to visit each other because there's a giant family feud. I rebuke that on your behalf in Jesus. I refuse that on your behalf in Jesus' name. Because the last time there was a family feud in the Bible, it didn't end well. Cain and Abel, like it's always such a big deal because you guys have pieces of each other.
And personally, I think the most painful breakups are family breakups.
100%.
I really do, because those ones are really, really hard to repair.
Yeah.
And they're hard to repair because you want to distance yourself from this person, but you feel bonded by them because of the blood.
You are.
You know, so it's almost like a give and a take.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this conversation.
I've enjoyed it as well.
I love this conversation so much, and I love what we've talked about. Before we go on to the next thing that we're going to do, I want to ask, the Chembe you are now is completely different from the Chembe that you were 3-4 years ago. How proud of you how proud are you of the type of person you've become, and what does the future look like for you? Congratulations on finishing school, by the way.
Thank you.
A whole graduate.
A graduate.
Graduate.
When I wear the gown, will it go off?
We shall not sleep that day.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. 3-4 years ago, I was definitely very devastated because of the way I felt like my life was supposed to go, and it wasn't going the way that it was. But then I'm so grateful that God kept me from various decisions and going into various places, using my parents, using my friends and circumstance. I would say I'm pretty proud. I think that girl would be really proud. Like, okay,
this is where we're going.
Yeah, you know, I'd say she'd be pretty proud. I'm one thing that I stole from my dad is like I don't have a spirit of contentment. Like just being content.
Yeah.
Like being content is good, but I struggle with it. I do struggle sometimes.
I think I do as well.
Yeah, I struggle with saying, oh, this is so great, this is enough, I'm fine right here, thank you. Because you do need to be that person sometimes.
But there's nothing wrong with wanting more.
And I do really still beat myself up for the things that I feel like I should have done better, that I could have done better, done in shorter time, done this. But then at the end of the day, understanding that God's plan is the best is the best.
That's important.
So where do I see myself? No one has ever asked me this question.
Really?
No one's ever asked me.
In fact, let me rephrase it. Not necessarily where do you see yourself, but rather, what are your intentions for yourself?
What are my intentions for myself? I'm definitely, if you know me, I'm a school girly. So if you see me enrolled at your school very soon, doing another degree or doing a master's or doing something, don't be shocked. I'm such a school girly. So definitely more school for me. Definitely going to explore what this social media thing is about. Yeah. And more family time. A lot of family. I love those guys. And maybe some chilanga mulilo here and there.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. If you haven't proposed yet. Yeah. But definitely just whatever God plans.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No, that is really good, and I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And nowhere to go but the top from here.
Nowhere but the top.
Exactly. Now, before we close, we prepared a special game for you.
A game?
Tailored specifically for you.
Oh my God. I hope you are not going to ask me how to become confident, because I don't know. I just prayed.
It just happened. It just happened. No, it's not even anything like that. Lushomo, are we ready? So this game is called... What was the reason? Yeah. What
was the reason? What is the reason for this game?
So, basically, we've got a few of your most viral TikTok moments.
Oh no! This is so bad.
We've got a few of your most...
Come and collect me, Zikie.
We've got some of your most viral TikTok moments.
Okay.
And... basically, we want you to explain what was the reason behind this TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it.
Okay. First one. This one.
Look, you guys, it's really not that hard to understand girls. I don't think girls are that complicated, honestly. Can I pause
think
we're fine.
Yeah. What was the reason?
When we say no, it's yes. When we say yes, it's no.
We'll show it on the screen so you get to see it. Don't worry.
This TikTok video, actually, I was having a conversation with my friends, male friends, and they were saying, "You girls are just so hard to understand." And I was opening up to them, like, "No, you guys, it's this, and this." They're like, "No, you guys are just so." Yeah. And I stopped talking to them, and I went to release to the only people that understand me, the TikTok community. That's all. That's pretty much it. And most of these things don't really have too much depth behind them.
Yeah.
Most of my videos are
You
just
never script them, do you? You just
no,
on the
and I
camera
never
and
plan
like,
them. We could be having a conversation right now, and you say something that would trigger me, and I'm like, "Lushomo, phone." You guys. Yeah. That's really
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. This one.
Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, he's my wife. He's my wife. This has to be something. This video almost became my nickname.
Really?
Like I was moving and people would be like, "It's Chicho or something." I remember the only moment I was ever proud of being a goofball on social media was when Mwape saw me somewhere and she said, "Chicho or something," and I was like,
"Chicho or something."
God, it is time for you to calm down now.
Wow.
My cousin Wongani and I, shout out, we were just being goofballs, and we were talking about how we must never hear a man claiming us about because these men will embarrass you. Like we must not hear a man claiming, "No, that's my girlfriend," because us, when we claim them, they embarrass us.
Wow.
So that's where that came from. Like,
okay.
They'll teach you something.
Next one.
The truth is, I'm an exhausted student. But
This
beauty I'm
year,
maintaining.
actually, if you see most of the videos that I made,
they
were very uni oriented.
Yeah.
I had a very hard year in 2023. No.
2022?
22. 2022, I had a very, very hard year.
Yeah.
So, but then I was like, I did my hair. I did new hair. I'm like, but beauty, even if things are rough, I'm maintaining.
Beauty is a must.
Yeah.
It's a must.
Yeah.
It's not good for the brand.
The brand must maintain. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
This year is either you congratulate me or you have me. It will just be everywhere. It's okay.
Also, this one, I was feeling very optimistic about the year. I had just gotten the best grades I've ever gotten at UNZA.
Nice.
I was just feeling very optimistic, and I felt like the year is going to be so good.
This was 2023, yeah?
This was entry of 2023, was it?
2022 going into 2023, yeah?
Yes. That was January, because of the t-shirt I'm wearing. That was January 2023.
Nice.
So I was just very optimistic about the year. That's all.
That's amazing. So that was all the TikToks that we had.
Oh,
I'm glad.
That's so cute. I'm happy you didn't ask me anything about my personal life, Lushomo. Hey!
No, Lushomo was really amazing.
She is.
She did the whole script and everything. So we need to give you your flowers as well.
Shout out.
Shout out
This
to you,
was so
Lushomo.
nice.
And thank you for Zaso as well. He's the one behind the camera. Do
it here, the camera. Zaso, if Zaso doesn't have a girlfriend, let me tell you, girls, this guy is fine. He does. Hey, let me tell you, like a girl.
Hey, the girl is lucky.
Wow. No, you have a great team.
No, these guys are amazing.
Team.
And shout out to our producer Mwape as well. She couldn't make it because of work.
Yeah.
But she's also an amazing producer.
Shout out, Mwape.
Shout out to you. And also, I need to give a huge shout out to our host for the day. His name is Zikie, and this is his lovely home. So if you're looking to have a party, a chill, a small gathering, this place is an amazing, quiet, and very serene place.
Shout out,
you can
Zikie.
have it. Shout out to you, Zikie. This place is amazing, guys.
Invite me if you're gonna have that chill, please.
No, please. You have to.
Oh, he's over there.
We're giving you a shout out, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So definitely, guys, make sure you come. You book the venue here for any type of gathering that you want. It's an amazing place. The host is really, really phenomenal. So you guys are definitely guaranteed a good time. Otherwise, Chembe. It's been lovely.
It's been lovely. Thank you so much.
How's been your experience?
My experience here has been so great. I was so nervous when I walked in. I thought, oh my god, they are going to ask me, how many guys have you dated? But like, no, this has been so nice. It felt like we're just,
having a
conversation, and I love what you do. I really hope you blow up. We should give you your flowers, not they. We should give you your flowers while you're still here to receive them, not after our shan. So honestly, I really love what you do.
I really appreciate it, and you're an amazing person. Woo! Never forget that.
Thank you. Let's do this again.
Whoa, sure.
Let's do this again.
We definitely
Next time we are talking about why men should all die.
Except me.
Except you.
Me, I'm still needed here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, like, share with everyone that you know. And until next time, remember to live your best life. Yes, sir.
Let's get it.